the man who successfully defended his title on Saturday night, the man who I made cry on Wednesday night, just days before the fight, Chris Weidman, the middleweight champion of the world. Chris, are you there?
Yes, what's up, buddy?
How are you?
Crying.
Well, congratulations. Maybe tears of joy now, but what a night for you, because I want to ask you this right off the top. It really, truly feels like you turned the corner on Saturday. I know the Anderson fights were big, the Otto was big, but it feels like people now view you in a whole different light. Like, we can't talk about the respect thing anymore. Do you feel the same way?
It's too early to make that statement. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I feel what you're feeling, but let's give it a month or two.
So you're not ready yet to concede the fact that you have received the respect, or that you will receive the respect that you deserve.
Yeah, I'm not ready to jump on that bandwagon yet. Let me give it a couple days, or weeks, or a month, and then I'll decide if I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon or not. It has an amazing amount of support I've gotten, and I think it's probably been more than some of my other fights, and I feel like it's more consensual. It's more it's definitely just more people, not as many haters at all.
Why do you think
Usually
that is?
It's like, you suck, you still suck, you're gonna die, blah blah blah. Now it's kind of now it's a little different. I wonder how long that lasts, but it's nice. It's nice. I don't know if it's usually because you got another Brazilian legend waiting for me that they think is going to kill me. So I don't know if that's it, or they were impressed with the performance and they finally recognized. But either way, it's nice.
I have no problem saying. I mean, we've talked a lot about your interviews and your appearance and all that stuff. The promo. I mean, I got to admit, I was kind of sitting back like a proud father when you unleashed that thing afterwards. Stop doubting me. Join the team. Where did that come from? Did you practice that, or was that off the cuff?
That was off the cuff. I don't know. I do, like, before fights, I do imagine the whole fight. I even imagine getting the mic in my face and remembering to say a couple things. Kind of like thanking my wife and family and coaches and stuff like that. And then, but that just took over. It just happens. Off the cuff.
That might have been your finest hour. Forget about the fight itself. That was passionate. And then you ended it with an "I love you." It was so great. Join the team. I feel like that could be your new slogan. Like, you need to make T-shirts of that thing. Have you thought of that yet?
Join the team, or "I love you"?
No, well, "I love you" is kind of taken, but "join the team" is perfect. Maybe "I love you" in the back.
You're right. I think join the team hashtag. I think it was trending on Twitter. So I think I'm sticking with that.
Perfect. Okay, let me ask you about this. I'm watching the fight. You're coming out. You're making that walk to the music, and it kind of strikes me. And be honest with me here. You looked a little off. It looked like you were sick or something. Like, you were very pale. Your eyes were dark. Was something wrong?
I'll be honest with you.
Please.
It was my first time ever. I had to go to the bathroom bed. And I'm like, I cannot believe this is going to happen. I'm going to crap myself in the middle of this cage. I was like, I didn't know if I was going to run. Like, as soon as Vitor's walkout music came on, I was contemplating. All I could think about was, like, I don't know if I should run to the bathroom now or hold it. I don't know what's going to happen. That's really what was going through my mind the whole time walking out. I'm like, I don't know. I might have to run. So I might be the first person to have to run away from the fight to go to the bathroom. Can they hold the fight for me? But I didn't want to, like, tell anybody because, when you say it out loud, it just becomes worse. So I remember when we were getting ready to do the walkout, I just gave Ray my flag. I usually hold the flag. I gave Ray the flag to hold because I was just trying to focus on not crapping myself pretty much.
Wow.
You were right. There was definitely something not normal going on.
This coming from a guy who you crapped yourself when you sparred Vellante, right?
Yeah, I'm going. My wife. I have to go. Yeah, I've had issues. I have to go to a gastro and whatever they're called, that gastro doctor. Coming up. I keep putting the appointment off, but that was kind of crazy.
Yes, you also crapped in your wife's garbage can on your first date, so clearly there's something going on.
Yeah.
You joke that you might be an honorary Jew, but Jews have IBS. Maybe that's what you have. Maybe deep down, Weidman. I mean, it does sound Jewish. Maybe that's what you got.
Exactly. Might be Jewish now, officially.
At what point did it hit you, though? Like, while you were standing there, or in the like?
Because if I was in the locker room, I was good. But what they do is they take, you warm up in your locker room, and then they're like, all right, we got 2 minutes, and all of a sudden they bring you out, and then you wait. So Vitor has to, they bring you to a point. They got the camera set up. There's a million people, kind of looking at you, and then at that point, the security guard is set up. At that point, Vitor makes his walk first. So as Vitor was getting ready to make his walk, the whole time I was just contemplating, do I run to the bathroom? But it's a pretty far run, and everybody's eyes are on me, so they'd be wondering, like, is the guy running away from the fight? So I didn't feel like having all this drama just because I had to go to the bathroom. So I just kind of, like, was dealing with it, like, struggling, man. You know what that's like when you, it's just a terrible situation, especially when you're about to go out and fight in front of, millions of people, with the TV and everything. And it was just a very, it was a struggling time.
Was this an indication of you being nervous before the fight?
No, usually, like, I go to the bathroom before every fight. This is such a weird conversation. So it's not like anything unnormal, but the thing that was unnormal was that it was happening on my walkout. I'm usually good to go at that point. I have no issue. It was happening way too close to my fight, which was kind of scary. Yeah.
Okay, last thing about this. Last thing. At what point do you forget about it? Is it bothering you throughout?
I still was like consciously thinking about it and like holding myself together all the way up until like I was in that cage.
Wow.
So the whole walkout, all these people are going nuts. The only thing I'm thinking about is keeping together.
It's unbelievable.
So it wasn't. I think it wasn't my normal thought process. So
I was sitting with someone backstage in my little cave, and I said, man, he doesn't look right. Something seems off. And then he rocks you, and I was thinking, wow, I mean, something is clearly off here. And I asked your teammates, I didn't get to see you after the fight, and everyone said, no, you were fine. But, man, I feel like I know you better than them.
They didn't know about that either. They still don't know. I didn't tell them. I don't think I told them. Maybe I told them afterwards, like after party or something. But, yeah. That's kind of what was going through my mind.
How close were you to being out there? I mean, how much did he hurt you? When it seemed like he did, but how much was it?
It was kind of weird. So we got into that weird exchange where like I fell, then he fell. I run after him.
Yeah.
And as I run out, I like throw a knee at him because in my head the whole fight, like I wanted to keep him active because I feel like the more I did, the more he would do. And it was all about breaking him. I was all about getting him tired. That was the goal. I knew he was going to have spurts, especially in the beginning. So I just wanted to stay in his face and make him work. So that's why I was like running after the cage after him because I just wanted as much drama as possible, much activity out of him. If he sees me running after, that brings a little endorphins or whatever to the brain, and he's starting to start getting more tired or whether the adrenaline kind of dull. So I was just trying to run after him. And when I ran after him, at some point, I think it was like a headbutt or something, I came out and I felt the drip on my eye. I wiped my eye, and there was blood. So Vitor saw that. And now Vitor's thinking I'm hurt, which I was completely fine. It was just like just felt like I had a little cut. So now he's coming at me like a madman thinking like I'm hurt because if you watch his other fights, he's a great finisher. When he sees blood, when he sees someone's hurt, he comes at you like an animal. So here he comes after me when I'm completely clear-headed. And so I'm backing up to the cage, and I'm just, all right, let him tee you off. Let him throw some hard punches. I don't care because I'm just going to cover. But, I'm used to doing that with fishing out the gloves on and letting guys kind of time themselves out. If they want to go crazy, I'll let them go crazy. I do believe in my chin and everything, even though I don't want to get punched in a fight. Like I do, it's a good thing to have, kind of on the back burner. So I was covering, and then he hit me with a nice uppercut and just hit me on my lips and my nose, and I was just like, all right, you know what? I probably shouldn't be standing here. But there was no point where I was actually like hurt to where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fall down or I'm dizzy or not knocked out. There was no point of that. It was just like, all right, his meter's dropping. He's throwing all these crazy punches, and I'm still here. I'm still fine. And as soon as he stopped throwing the punches, I just threw a jab, and he threw something, and it was way slower. And I'm just like, oh, he's breaking. And at that point, I could just probably stand with him and look to knock him out. But I'm like, that's what he's expecting. And so then you always do the unexpected. So I just took him down. And from there, I just didn't give him up. I just didn't give him a break to recover from his barrage of punches. That was the goal. As soon as he threw those punches, he probably wanted to take a couple-second break, and I just didn't give it to him.
Were you surprised at how ineffective he was on the ground?
I mean, you come to my sparring sessions, you come to me in jiu-jitsu, things kind of look similar sometimes as what it looks like. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I go black. I go to some top guys, and when I go on the ground, I feel a little different than people that they've ever felt before. So I might not look it. It might look simple, but I'm a different animal when I grab you. So I knew if we hit the ground, this was a coming out party for me on the ground in my mind. I said, if I'm taking this guy to the ground completely, letting the world know that I'm on another level, it would have been, if it would have kept on going, you guys might have seen even more. But I feel like I didn't give him a chance to recover from all of his punches, and that's why he couldn't defend the thing clearly, because he was exhausted. And then he's got this guy on top of him that I feel like a ton of bricks, and I'm not moving, and I'm just going to keep on. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in his face the whole time. It's definitely tough on mentally, and that was the goal. I'm just going out there to break these guys' wills, break them mentally and physically, and that's exactly what I did. I said I was going to finish in the first or second, and that's what I did.
You made headlines on Friday when, it got heated, and you said that you felt like he was still cheating. And then after the fight, you showed a lot of emotion, more so than in your other fights. I mean, you were yelling. It seemed like you were really letting out this aggression and this buildup from. I know it had been going on for a year, you guys back and forth, but I never quite seen you like that. Where was this all coming from, especially in the 24 hours before the fight?
Well, the juicing thing, I left him alone all camp about it,
Yeah.
The cheating thing. I didn't want to bring it up anymore. I feel like it was just too long ago, and I didn't really want to put my own mind. I didn't want to even wrap my head around worrying about if he's juicing or not throughout camp. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I'm going out there fighting, hoping they're doing the right thing, but there's not much control I have. So I just kind of stopped talking about it. But then just happened to be the media scrum, I guess, was it on Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
I guess Thursday.
Yeah.
On Thursday, one of the reporters came up to me, Akamoto, and just said, while I was getting the scrum, was just saying that, I contacted Nevada and I got scores back. It was interesting because your scores were both like 370 and then 370, which is low, but during a training camp, that's what it kind of should be. You should be exhausted yourself. And I got tested before. This is like 2 years ago, and mine was even lower than that during a training camp. So I expected I just know that my score is low, but that doesn't, I feel fine during my training camp. So that's why I know, I don't need to take anything. I'm completely fine. And that's why it never made sense to me with these TRT guys, when they were doing it back in the day. But anyway, so then he tells me, your score's at 370, 370, and you got to realize that I am almost 10 years younger than him, and he has been on TRT for so long because he said he couldn't live without being on it. So he said that, basically his testosterone is lower than everybody else's. So I figure that's way lower than mine. Then he said that his was 500, then 1,200. And I'm like, well, I don't know that much about testosterone, but 1,200 doesn't seem like it should be illegal to me. That's crazy. And especially during a training camp where we're killing ourselves, how the hell is this testosterone 1,200? That just does not make sense to me. But he passed because the ratios from epitestosterone to testosterone was normal. So I'm like, all right, so is there something that you could take to make that ratio normal? And yeah, there's stuff. So that's what my head was. All right, well, he's 100% cheating. There's no way in my mind his could be 4 times the amount of mine during a training camp when I'm 10 years younger, and he's had testosterone problems his whole life or whatever for so many years. So I'm like, all right, he's cheating. And now at the time, I'm like, I don't care. I was like, talk to him about that. I was like, either way, I have to beat him up. So they kind of overnight, it just kind of started bothering me that this guy has the balls to keep cheating and talk about he's doing all the right things. I'm like, I just had enough. So when at weigh-ins, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a word with him about it. That was it. I just went up to him. I said, I can't believe you're still cheating. I was like, that's messed up. I was like, 1,200 testosterone score. He was like, what? He was like, that wasn't this kind. I'm like, no. 3 weeks ago, your testosterone score was 1,200. And he was just so completely put off guard. And I'm like, I was like, you're a Christian, start acting like it. I was like, I'm going to make you pay for this. He was like, how dare you keep cheating? And that was it. I just kind of put him on blast. I think he was just so confused and mentally deflated from it. He just wanted to get off stage. So I think it was probably a good mental warfare too to use. But I think it definitely made the fight more exciting as well. So it was different than my usual weigh-ins, and that was as straight as we've ever had. We've always just shook hands and stared each other down and shook hands again about. So it definitely caught him off guard and caught everybody else off guard too.
Do you feel relieved that you can move on with your life now? Like, no more Vitor Belfort. The past year has been about him and all this drug talk. I mean, you can really move on. You proved your point, and that's it. Does that feel like a relief? Does it feel like something's been lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah, yep. It definitely is a relief, but at the same time, I'm ready for the next guy. I'm just ready to go out there and dominate again.
Well, that is a good segue, because it appears as though the next guy should be Luke Rockhold, yet they haven't come out and said it. Do you believe it's Luke Rockhold?
Prior to the fight, I would say, just by going by their last fight, so he beat Camozzi. No disrespect to Camozzi, but he's not a Machida, and he already beat him once in the first round, and beat him again in the first round. So I don't know if that's a fight that usually, merits a title shot for Jacare. So, but then you go, and then you look at the other side. All right, well, Rocco was knocked out in the UFC pretty bad by a guy who was just, beat up. So I understand where they're looking at from that side of it. So I was on board 100%. Luke, yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen. I've been waiting to get on a call with the UFC. I was supposed to meet with them yesterday, but then I had to leave, so I didn't get to meet with them. But I figure I'm probably going to get on a call with Lorenzo and Dana, kind of go through the whole thing coming up.
Do you think Rockhold right now is tougher than Machida when you fought him, tougher than Belfort, tougher than Anderson? He seems to be fighting at a whole other level right now.
I would expect definitely a tough guy, a tough fighter, but I feel like I'm running right through any of these guys.
Nothing he does worries you.
No, he's well-rounded. He's well-rounded, but he's not great anywhere. He's not the best striker I ever fought. He's not the best wrestler I ever fought. He's not the best jiu-jitsu guy I ever fought. Jacare brings a different element. He's really good on the ground, and he's probably more dangerous on the feet than Rockhold. Rockhold's kind of just well-rounded and keeps a good, solid pace going throughout the whole fight. Doesn't make too many mistakes. They're just two completely different fighters. If I had to say who's more dangerous, it would be Jacare, but there's probably more holes in his game than Rockhold. So they both bring different elements to the game that I have to figure out and expose.
Would you prefer Jacare next?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have a preference.
Okay.
Either way, I'm going to have to fight these guys at some point, and I'm going to have to kind of let them know that they have no chance for me. Because I love the fact, I just love their attitudes, and I'm excited to, as a competitor, to kind of just show them the truth. But as far as which order, it doesn't really matter. I just want I want big fights. Both of them know that. I want big fights. They want big fights. The Madison Square Garden, there was a little bit of a curveball in there. I want to know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more about it?
No, I know nothing. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll find out more about it.
Well, that would have
that changes things too.
Yeah, that would have to be in December, and the legislative calendar for New York ends in June. So we'll know pretty soon if the sport is legalized, at least this year. Let's just say it's not. Let's just be pessimists. When do you want to return?
Okay. I want to return by as soon as possible. Honestly, listen, I haven't had a summer with the family really to enjoy. And this fighting in May is a great time, end of May. So now I have June, July, and August. I would love to enjoy. If you're from the East Coast, you understand what I'm talking about. Or at least the Northeast. But so I would love to enjoy the summer a little bit for once with my family. Other than that, I want to just keep on going. I want to I want to keep on showing the world, where I'm at. I kind of just separate myself from the rest of these guys. And, every time you get done with a fight, there's always another guy. Oh, this guy can do this. This guy is better than him there. And that excites me just to let all these guys know the truth.
Okay, last thing before I let you go, you tweeted a picture of you hanging out with Floyd Mayweather rocking a Louis Vuitton towel at some kind of pool party. It's a great picture. He looks thrilled to be there. The smile on his face is just gigantic. What was that all about?
I don't know. He retweeted it too. I guess he was at. I think that's his thing. The no smiling. I don't know, but it was fun. We were both throwing the same pool party, so we ended up getting together, hanging out. I talked to him. He gave me some advice.
What'd he say?
And I just talked to him about business stuff, and he told me how much money. He just went right into the money. He's Floyd Money Mayweather for sure. Like, I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? I have a lot of respect for you. He's just like, I made, so far they gave me $125 million, but it's going to be $275 million. I'm like, oh, I didn't even ask you about that. That's awesome. He's like, I own a private line of planes. I own everything. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. I didn't even ask you, but that's great to hear. I'm proud of you. I wish I had all that stuff, but no, but it was cool. It was cool talking to him. He's actually a pretty down-to-earth guy. Obviously, he loves his money, and he's as successful as you could possibly be as an athlete. And he kind of told me the way he got the Pacquiao fight, the way he put it together.
Wow.
It was the whole process, the time off, the time in between, getting people excited. It was all part of his plan. Yeah, so we had a very good conversation. He was cool. He knew all about me.
Oh, really? I was going to ask you about that. He knew who you were right off the bat. Yeah.
He actually, he sent, I don't know if you know Chuck Zito.
Of course.
Yeah, well, he sent Chuck Zito come get me to come hang out with me.
Oh, wow.
So that's the way it went down. And then, so it was cool, man. It was a good experience. He's definitely a good guy to know. That's it, man. That's it.
Well, like I said, it feels like you've turned the corner, my friend. Something has changed. I don't know if it was you crying on camera. You don't mention it. That one's on the house.
What do you think of that? It seems like people actually really like that interview.
It's weird.
I'm not gonna lie. After we got done with that, I was so close to telling you, is there any way we could redo it? It was just terrible.
No.
It wasn't because of me like tearing up and I getting choked up and all that stuff. It was because after I choked up, the amount of rambling I went into. That made no sense. I went into circles because all I could think about the whole time was really like I stopped but just cried on camera. Like,
yeah.
So I just couldn't make sense after that. I just kept talking and talking. I don't know. I thought it was terrible, and somehow people loved it. So I thought you did a great job. As far as me, I thought it was terrible. But.
No, it was fun to watch you fight the tears like the champion that you are, and that's what made you go all over the place. But people want to see that emotion. They want to have that connection to you. They want to know about the trials and tribulations. They want to live vicariously through you, and you open yourself up finally, and then you call everyone out in the post-fight interview. Wow, you couldn't have scripted it any better. From Wednesday all the way to Saturday night, a virtuoso performance. Congratulations on that. You are the reigning and defending champion. You're doing a great job, still undefeated. Can't wait for the Rockhold fight. I feel like that's the one that it has to be in. I think it's a fantastic fight. Two guys in their prime, two Americans. Finally for you get to fight, a non-Brazilian. Present something new. A lot of fun to watch you grow as champion. Thank you so much for the time, Chris. I know you're very busy. They're probably going to do another day for you over there in Long Island because they have so many open slots. So I know you're busy talking to people, rubbing elbows. We appreciate the time very much on this Tuesday.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right,
Take care, guys. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. I appreciate it.
Join the team.
Love you all. You join the team. Join the team. This is your last invitation.
I love it. Great. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Bye-bye.
There he is, Chris Weidman, UFC middleweight champion, stopping by. Great stuff from him, as always.